This swing diagram is something which will make the longest story short regarding how poor we are in communication. And I'll just try to cover that from my point of view. Imagine a project of a swing. So this is how the client has described it. When you have a client wants to go for a project, first of all, he will have a brief, right? He will have a brief. He'll call someone, please come, I want to construct this swing. And he will give some explanation of what he's thinking of. Okay, then that particular advisor, he's going to do something, and then the project manager is that advisor. He's the project manager who's the experienced person, and the client is ignorant. He doesn't know how construction is even approached. So he will get into that job as a project manager working for the employer. So this is how the project manager has understood that and recorded that in the project chart, which will freeze the scope. What is the scope of that project? This is how it was understood by the project manager. Later on, we asked the structural engineer to design it. So he wants to make it very safe. So he did that design because he wants to protect himself. And this is what's happening. You know, when you ask any structural designer to give you design for foundations, it will be always over-design because he wants to protect his liability. And then you give it to someone else who is mature enough, he will reduce it to 50 to 60%. One of the major value engineering exercise that I have been doing when I was working for a developer is to give the design of the structure to some entities to redesign the whole structure. And we were saving millions. Then we want to see our fancy architects, what they are doing. So this is architect, what he has done. Very fancy design. Yes, it looks very, very, very well established design. So this is how it was designed. And then the builder. In his tender, we will give you the best swing ever. Don't worry, just give me the job and we will be the right people. You know, just we'll be the right choice for you. And then this is how it was described in the tender. Okay, and then the next one. When it comes to documentations, you know, documentation is contract, drawings, specifications. You know what documentation is. It is very normal to see something like that happening in your career. That's why poor communication is really a critical issue. Then when it goes to the corporate, you know, they price for 100 millions and then they give the project manager a budget of 50 and they ask him to deliver that project with 50 million. It is too tight budget and he cannot deliver. That's why, you know, you get into a lot of stress working for a budget which is not reasonable at all and you are required to perform. Then what's happening afterwards? What's the next step? Okay, so this is what's going to happen now. What the client was built. So many variations, so many claims, and you get something like that. You get, instead of doing a fancy swing, now you are doing another dreamland. So, and this is what is happening because of the change orders, and I just told you something about variations and how it affects the client budget. And what the workers have actually built. Drawings, job drawings, working drawings were really inadequate, and they did something completely different to what was required. And eventually, what the client wanted is a wheel swing. And this is what is actually happening in any project management discipline. This swing diagram is very, very popular in IT, in hospitality, in agriculture, in project management, in every single discipline where project management is involved, you get to that. So I tried to do something just to convey the message, how effective would be the communication for professionals. This happens because we don't have professional practitioners working on the project, taking care of what is going to be wrong. And this is part of your risk management attributes. How you can identify these risks and make sure that you mitigate them before they happen.